All right, y'all. So I had some additional thoughts and takeaways when it comes to this book, Who's Watching Shorty, Rashona Landfair. So if you've been following me, you know that I've already done a part 1 reaction, which was for chapters 1 through 10, and then a part 2 reaction, which was from chapters 10 to basically the end of the book. But here are some additional thoughts and takeaways that I had. The messages, the lessons, the things that you teach young girls and boys as they grow up are important. What are you teaching them about self-worth? What are you teaching them about self-esteem? What are you teaching them about values? What are you teaching them about boundaries? What are you teaching them about sex? Are you showing them how to say no? Are you showing them the signs of manipulation? Narcissism, grooming, red flags, and how dangerous it can be to put somebody on a pedestal. Rashona heard her family talking about how important R. Kelly was and how much money he has, how much power he has, and how important it is not to upset him or have conflict with him. Basically, how to keep him happy so that you can sustain yourself financially or career-wise. These are things that she had come to value. Listening to her Aunt Sparkle and some of her sexual encounters taught her what attitude she should have, how she should behave with men. Lessons like listening to that internal voice and that gut and that intuition when you feel uncomfortable, when you want to say no. Lessons on people pleasing. Self-identity, hope, faith. Shorty's family was a family that I believe were Christian. I know they were faith-based initially. But throughout the story, it seemed as though they lost their faith and they start putting that confidence in R. Kelly. It's almost like they replaced God and started to become more reliant upon the resources that R. Kelly could provide so that they could survive. You know, they say that the love of money is the root of all evil. And I believe like the love of success and that pursuit can also be the root of all evil, because you lose your morale. You lose your integrity when you get to a point that you're willing to do anything to quote unquote make it. They gave him too much power to the point where they couldn't even see a world without him in it. They couldn't see things working out without his resources. You know, in order to have change, you got to be willing to inconvenience yourself. You got to be willing to be uncomfortable. And Rashona and her family had got to a point where they weren't willing to be completely uncomfortable to get rid of R. Kelly, which is interesting in itself because they were completely uncomfortable either way. It's not like it was all good. There was good moments and there were horrendous moments. Another lesson is finding your voice, speaking up, having courage. Had Rashona spoken up sooner, it's possible R. Kelly could have been stopped a lot earlier. And I don't know that people are always aware of the power of their voice and the power that they have. And I'm sure she was afraid. But one of the lessons also in the book is do it afraid. You're scared if you don't do it. You're scared if you do it. You're already scared. So you might as well continue and do it afraid. Whatever that it is. Random thought. I heard this quote, and I hope I'm saying it correctly, but it's something like, when it comes to abuse victims, they leave when the abuse gets worse than the abuse that they inflict on themselves. When the abuser abuses them worse than they abuse themselves. Shorty was able to do some of them dehumanizing acts because she was abusive to herself. It's really a sad situation. However, I'm glad she regained power. I'm glad she stripped him of the power he had over her and over others. I want to mention something else too. One reason why she was involved in this for so long was she was kept so isolated that she didn't realize the full scope of what all he was doing to everyone. In her eyes, it was like, this is something that me and Robert are doing for our love. This is just between the two of us. This is just, I do this because I'm his best girl, and this is just us. But when she opened her eyes to the full scope that not even his kids were safe from his abuse, not his wife. And then when she got to start seeing how many other women and girls were involved, she was a young girl getting other young girls to participate in this with him. But he also had other young girls getting other young girls to participate in this. And I think that was one big thing that helped open her eyes too, when she got to see the magnitude of his perversions. I think for some people it hits different if it's just me and you doing this thing. It's just me and you. This is our little secret together. But when they realize, oh wait, you're doing this to everybody around you, it hits different. Anyway, I'm glad she has started her healing journey. I'm sure this is a healing journey that's going to continue for many, many years to come. I'm glad her family, some of the family, was able to reconcile. And I'm glad she's in a better space so that she can raise her child or children to be healthy and healed. And I'm glad that she's, once again, is advocating for others and helping other women and boys. I'm sure the story doesn't just stop here. All right, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Hit me up in the comments. I appreciate you listening. Like the videos. There are 3 of them. My name is Sherelle Unique. And this is Who's Watching Shorty, Rashona Landfair reaction. I'm out.